Guys, a treasure trove today. We have a 2011 Kawasaki Ninja 1000. This motorcycle was released the same year I got my riding M endorsement. So, a little bit of a throwback, but today's first ride should be pretty interesting. What's going on, guys? Chaseontwowheels here at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell. And in front of us, like I said, we got that 2011. I wanted to say 21 so bad. We got a 2011 Kawasaki Ninja 1000. Check this thing out. Super cool. Not a lot of tech, not a lot of nothing other than power and comfort. Everybody say hey to the production team. Hi, everybody. All right, boys. You guys know what we got to do. Let's see what it looks like, and let's see what it sounds like. Alright, guys, that's what it looks like and that's what it sounds like. Now, I'm not going to make you guys sit through a sponsor, but I do want to welcome the newest sponsor on the First Ride series, Quad Lock. We got a couple mounts coming in the mail, but guys, Quad Lock is a new sponsor for the First Ride series, so if you guys haven't checked them out, I'm pretty new to them, and these damn phones and motorcycle attachment things, absolutely game-changing. So, that's it for the sponsorship. As you guys know, if we didn't have the sponsors, we wouldn't be able to put out as high quality as we do for you guys. But that's it. Let's get this 2011 Kawasaki Ninja 1000 going, fam. So if you guys have been in the motorcycle market for any period of time, you have seen a Ninja. It is a staple in the Kawasaki lineup, and it has been a very long time since I've ridden a Ninja. I know I rode a Ninja 650 long ago. I don't know if I've ridden one recently, so I'm kind of excited to get this little throwback. So let's get this thing cranked up. All right, guys, as far as height, I'm 5'10". I got a 32-inch inseam. I got both feet on the ground. I've got slightly bent legs, so not too bad at all. I got my mirrors set up. You guys are watching this video to watch me ride it, so let's get this thing going. Also, hello, Hypermotard. Also, guys, I want to invite you guys to go check out our Discord. If you're a Discord-style person and you like motorcycles, which you're watching this video, I imagine you are, go check out that Discord in the link down in the description. Tons of motorcyclists there, so meet some friends, fam. Oh, do we have an opportunity? We can go? Yes, sir, we do. Let's go. All right, guys, 2011 Ninja 1000 from our friends over at Kawasaki. Kawasaki, one of the brands that I really wish Mountain and Roswell would carry, because I feel like they're a phenomenal motorcycle and a brand, and I just don't ever get to ride enough of them. So today we're on the Ninja 1000, kind of the... Oh, we gotta stop here, but we'll continue afterwards. But yeah, guys, the Ninja class has been out for as long as I can remember motorcycles. I considered starting on a Ninja 650. This is their 1000, obviously. Power-wise, I think it's got 134 horsepower with 81 foot-pounds of torque. So we're talking about serious power numbers. We're talking about the same engine that's in their Z1000 of this year model, of course, and the same engine, I believe, that's in their Ninja or their ZX10. So they're getting a lot of use out of this engine. I imagine it's tuned slightly differently for each user case. We're not talking about a slow machine. You've got a lot of power underneath you, despite it being kind of comfortable. this class is just kind of weird because it doesn't have, this is like a hybrid class between the nakeds and the super sports. You got the ninjas. That's kind of where the industry seems to be going, where you have you either have a naked or you have a super sport. You don't really have much of these anymore unless you went more to that touring route. Anyways, guys, it's the first try. Let me get in front of this car real quick with no problem at all, and let's talk about body position. First off, the seat, very comfortable seat, pretty wide. I got a lot of like squishy room. I can kind of bounce around. Body position wise, my upper half is only slightly leaned forward. That car is going to cut me off, and they're not. Okay, great. Top half wise, I am slightly leaned forward. Got my arms kind of draped down on the handlebars, and my legs are kind of mediumly tucked up. It's a very kind of neutral body position. I'm super comfortable right here. I can imagine I could spend miles and miles in this position with little to no problems at all. Good placement of the peg so that I can get my feet down. We love that. Now, guys, every time we go through this green light or red light, it always reminds me to check the power mode, and if I'm in rain mode, to change out of rain mode. But that reminds me, this bike, no modes. All 134 horsepower is at your disposal from the get. While we're on that topic, guys, we can talk about other rider aids. No ABS, no traction control. I mean, remember, this is a 2011 motorcycle. I guess back in the day, ABS and traction control weren't a big deal like they are right now. Those are a much bigger deal these days, which is kind of, I feel like, necessary. This bike has a considerable size engine on it, and it's kind of crazy to know that back in the day it was just like, oh, traction control, oh no, it doesn't have that. It's a lot of power to not control with some rider aids. So here on city streets, having the higher up handlebars does give me a lot of control over the motorcycle, especially at low speeds. I feel like I'm just like holding the bull by the horns, and I've got no problem getting the bike going in the direction that I want to. That's one of the things I love about the higher handlebars. Why is that shaking so much? That was terrifying. That's one of the things I like about having higher handlebars. I feel like I got a lot of control over the bike. It makes it really easily maneuverable on city streets, which, you know, if you ride every day, you're going to be on city streets quite a bit. It is a bit heavier of a motorcycle. I think it sets at a wet weight of 502. Heavy for a sport size motorcycle. You know, obviously, if you're talking cruiser, the weights go out the window. But for 502, the bike is relatively maneuverable and easy to get around. I think it holds its, or maybe, let's say it hides its weight well. I've got no problem with the maneuverability at the medium to lower speeds here in town. And it's been pretty composed here. I could see, I mean, I kind of feel like this is one of the places where this bike does really well. You know, like between the body position, the handlebars, and the power delivery, like you can ride around town all day with no problem. It's not hard to get this bike moving around. It's not going to tire you out riding in a situation like this. All right, we got a lot of traffic to get through, and I am not going to talk while we do it. Because who the f wants to watch that? We'll just take advantage of our size here. Just squeeze around this traffic. Woo-doo, woo-doo. And just like that, you can maneuver this thing around traffic with no problem. That was actually really comfortable to do all that. That felt fine. I love the maneuverability of these handlebars. Well, since my audio is going to be impeccable right now, I think I'll do all my talking right now. I don't know if it's as ridiculous to you guys how much like construction goes on in that section of the road, but it's kind of insane. Like, I've been doing first rides up at Mountain in Roswell for like years now, and there's always been construction on that road, but like, I know we cut a lot of it out, so I don't know how much of it makes it into the videos, but like, it's literally a running joke between me and the guys that like this road, the road we were just on, is always going to have construction. Is it just ridiculous to you guys watching these first rides? All right, guys, while we're stuck at this red light, let's get this bike lean to the side. You know, that's where you can start to feel all 502 pounds. You get this thing leaned over, not moving, And you're like, okay, not the lightest of motorcycles. Might be a little heavy on a spec sheet, but the second you start going, you know, it kind of drifts away, kind of hides out. Let's get her going. All ZX10, baby. Goodness gracious. Once you start pulling that throttle, this bike reminds you that's like, hey, just so you know, I might be a Ninja 1000, but like, I got that ZX10 DNA, so like, be careful, be ready. Relatively strong engine braking here on the Ninja 1000. You get some speed behind you, and you can really start feeling that engine braking when you're letting off throttle, especially down, going a little slower. It almost throws you forward. It's a little intense if you're in the right situation. This bike is so much faster than it has any right to be. It's also raw. There's nothing slowing you down. It's just like you and the bike. No rider aids, no wheelie control, nothing. It's, hey, don't mess up. All right, guys, let me engage sport mode with the throttle here with my hand. Let me just bend it a little bit, and now I'm ready for sport mode. We are coming up on the highway, which this bike should be better than a Z1000 on the highway, but this windscreen is going straight to my chest, so I don't know how helpful that thing's going to be. It'll have to be left to be seen if it actually helps out or not. All right, guys, 2011 Kawasaki Ninja 1000, 40 to 80 pull. We're going 40 in a minute, and that's the wrong gear. I can't do that to this bike. All right, it's got to be too lower. All right, we're gonna try that again. That was terrible. All right, 40 to 80, and go. It's got to wind up. There it is. It's too high revving. I don't even know what gear to put this thing in. I thought it needed to be lower. That was a shitty 40 to 80 pull. I apologize. That was probably mostly rider error. I don't know where I mean, the power band's up at like 8,000 RPMs, but I tried to downshift to get it at 40 and it just didn't feel right. That was strange. Power band's kind of weird on this thing. All right, guys, we're here on the highway. We got no cruise control. We got no modes. It's just us and a motorcycle. So, what is it like? First off, I got a lot of wind on my hands and my arms right now. It's blowing a lot there, so much so that I can notice it. As far as my chest goes, right at my abs is where I'm getting the wind hit at me, and the wind's pushing me back a good amount, and I'm not leaned forward enough to kind of counteract that. So I do find myself holding on a little tight on the handlebars. As far as stability here on the highway, I still feel pretty good. I'm not getting blown around at all as far as the motorcycle goes. I feel really stable, no problems at all. I do wish I had a gear indicator so I could know what gear I'm in. But as you guys can see, we're here on the highway. I can go 80 and I'm chilling down at 6. What is that? 5,500 to go 80 miles an hour here in America. Very light hand on the throttle. I don't too much mind that there's not cruise control. Obviously, I would prefer it if available, but I don't have it. But the throttle's pretty light, so I can hold it. Like I'm just barely pressing on it. My God, barely holding the throttle and it's staying open. So I got no problems with that. The only real issue I have with this bike on the highway is the amount of wind pushing me back. I can tuck in, but even fully tucked, I'm only like half a visor up right here, so there's just not as much wind protection. I was looking at the visor and it looks like it's movable, but I couldn't figure out how to move it, so I could be dumb, which is more than likely the truth, but if anything, it's hard to use, so keep that in mind. All right, guys, looks like we got a clear shot on our big turn here, so should be able to have a pretty good time. We are a little upright. We got tall handlebars, so I don't know how that's going to translate in a sport position. Bike wants to be upright. I'm leaning it over, and the bike does not feel comfortable at all. I don't like this at all. The more I throttle it, the more the bike just is really kind of pressing to go in the opposite way. And then when I hit one of those bumps, the bike was just wiggling in that corner. I might want to check these tires. They don't feel too great. All right, guys, before we get into anything else, let's jump to our Cardo spot and see what the guys in the camera car think about the 2011 Kawasaki Ninja 1000.
2011 Ninja 1000. It's kind of like halfway in between a Z1000 and a ZX10. What's not to love? And that color is pretty good too.
I do like the color. I'm not a fan of the front end. I'm a big fan of the rear end. It also has no tech, so that's scary. But otherwise, it's not a super sport, so it's high up on my list.
All right, guys, in the camera car, thank you so much for your opinions, and even more so, thank you, Cardo, for sponsoring the show. If you guys want to pick up the top-rated Bluetooth communicator for motorcyclists, Cardo's where it's at. We got a link for you in the description that'll give you a discount off. You guys make sure to go check that out. Also, thank you, Cardo. We love you long time. All right, guys, so as you guys could see in the 40 to 80 pull, power-wise on the Ninja 1000, power band's kind of strange. The bike doesn't feel very happy high up in the revs, but that's where it's holding all of its power. And I feel like right before I need to shift is where I'm actually getting a lot of that power. That's pretty typical for an inline four, but I just don't want that on a naked like this. I want to have that low down grunty power. So maybe a tune, you know, maybe a sprocket change is something you could really look into on this bike. As far as handling goes, when you're in the low speed stuff, it's totally fine. It's adequate. I love it. I love the control I have over it. When I get into a more pressed situation, you know, on that turn off the highway, the bike does not feel really composed leaned over. The suspension is way too soft. The bike's bouncing all around. I did not get excited to want to lean this thing over more. And the farther I leaned it over, the more like unstable it felt. So, you know, I'm getting a negative feedback loop. The harder I push it, the more I want to push it. I want to actually back off. As far as the brakes, I haven't really engaged the brakes too much. I'll give them a squeeze here. The brakes are a little soft. That bike's not coming to the stop that I really want it to. Now, something I want you guys to keep in mind, I don't know how much of that is my brain's getting acclimated to these newer bikes where, you know, a lot of them have really advanced brakes. They also have ABS and traction control, which makes me feel safer to really hammer on the brakes. But I mean, it is a little bit heavier of a bike. These brakes got a lot of work to do. And personally, I do feel like they're a little inadequate. I feel like the bike's powerful. If you get it in that rev range, this bike's a rocket ship, you know, for a few thousand RPMs at least. And I don't want to take advantage of those RPMs with these style of brakes. Yeah, even that little bit of a lean over and the bike just starts wiggling. A little wiggle worm we got here, and that is not what I want to have on a bike when I'm leaned over. You know, I'm in a dangerous circumstance at that point. You're gonna run the red? Yeah, f it, you know. Alrighty, guys, let's talk about the cluster and the controls of the Ninja 1000. The good news is we don't have a lot of things to talk about. I got a pretty simple starter and kill switch on the right. On the left, we've only got a few buttons. Looks like the horn, blinkers, brights, and hazards. And then in the middle, we got the old school tack. I've had no problems with any of the controls thus far. They seem pretty like middle of the road. I'm getting a feel when I'm, you know, hitting the brights on and off. It's not crazy. It doesn't feel super premium, but I mean, this is an older bike and it's an older, just like regular style motorcycle. It was never a premium brand or anything like that. So kind of exactly what I was expecting. I will say, I don't really care about the dash. I love having the analog tack that goes up. You know, there's something about having that old school needle and getting to watch it kind of go up and down that I've always really enjoyed. I feel like the information's okay on the right side. I love that I have a gas gauge. The only thing I'm really missing on that right side is a gear indicator. I really wish I had a gear indicator over there. As far as levers go, we do have adjustable levers on both sides. Levers feel pretty good. I got no problems with the levers. You know, my main thing that I personally look for is having adjustable levers. So as long as I have those, I'm pretty content, as long as they feel good, and these do. As far as the throttle goes, I do feel like the throttle, once you've pulled it, It's very, like, it doesn't take a lot of power to hold the throttle where it is. But this bike is one of those bikes where the throttle is either on or you get a hit when it comes on. Like when the power starts to be engaged, regardless of where your RPMs are, there's a little bit of a hit. I don't know if you guys can tell in the GoPro. Being a little exaggerative, but like it does upset the motorcycle when you go from no throttle to increasing in throttle. So you got to be careful about that. It's got that little initial hit. As far as the transmission goes, I've had no problem with that. We've gone up and down the transmission. You know, my only real issue as far as the drivetrain is that on-off hit you get with the throttle, and that the bars get a little wiggly. Not really sure what that's all about. Man, I'm convinced that these wheels are either squared off or they're flat. I can't figure out what it is, but I feel like this bike should handle far better than it's handling right now, and I don't really know what's causing that. Alright guys, we are coming up on our little church parking lot. I'm gonna pull into there. We're gonna do a little walk around. I know you guys have been getting all this camera car footage, but you know, gotta do our little walk around, get some photos of the motorcycles. So we're gonna pull in here for a quick second. Boom. Alright dudes, 2011 Kawasaki Ninja 1000. You know, the look hasn't changed that much to the newer models. They've kind of stuck with this look for quite a while. I think it's a decent looking motorcycle. I love that you have the passenger handles here. Big passenger seat would be a phenomenal motorcycle if you had somebody that you do two up with a lot. Check out that rear swing arm. How fucking nuts is that? That thing's sick. I've never seen anything like that. I like that. I like the dual exhaust too. Check those out. I like the shape of them. But yeah, guys, check out the swing arm. So do you rotate this to adjust the wheel position? This is fucking cool. I've never seen that. Let me know in the comments, have you guys seen a swing arm like that? All right, guys, before we get out of here, I'm going to grab my camera and take some photos for our Instagram. If you guys aren't following us on Instagram, we're at C2Pics. Highly recommend it if you want to check out some photos and videos of the motorcycles we do first rides on. So, I'm going to grab some photos real quick and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, time for the handlebar lock test. See how easily this thing is turned around. Ooh, a good showing. Good job, Ninja 1000. I didn't expect you to have that good of a handlebar lock test. Alright guys, it's that point in the first ride where I like to tell you guys who I think this bike is best for. What's the ideal rider for this thing? So guys, I feel like the ideal person for this motorcycle is gonna be somebody that needs a bike to do everything generally well. I'm honestly shocked that a 11-year-old motorcycle only has 2,683 miles on it. I look at this bike as your everyday bike. The only place that I feel like it really falls short, you know, the really aggressive riding. But as far as the highway, as far as riding around town, I think this is an ideal motorcycle, especially if you're going to have two up. You've got a platform in this Kawasaki 1000 engine that's going to have ample power and torque to get you and a passenger around town, you know, the little casual fun weekend ride. This is like the family bike, man. You get this, you have your husband or wife ride with you, and you guys kind of go cruise around. It's also got that side of it where it's got a ton of power, so if you're one of those people that wants to ride hard, I would say maybe focus more in the straighter line type thing, maybe not so much the leaning over. But I do honestly think that this bike could be way better leaned over if it maybe had a different set of tires on it. The tires that are currently on this thing just don't give it a lot of good feedback that I'm feeling when I have it leaned over. But yeah, I feel like this is the bike you have that you commute to work in every day. It's your old faithful, your reliable bike. And then you have your more focused motorcycle that you do a certain type of ride, maybe a dirt bike, maybe a super sport, maybe a supermoto, something like that. I feel like this is the best user case for this bike is the base bike, the one you go and you get on every day. It's not going to surprise you in any way, but it's also not got any rider aid, so it could surprise you if you end up pushing it too hard. But yeah, I feel like that's where this kind of bike belongs. It belongs in someone's garage that rides a lot, that doesn't want bells and whistles on their motorcycle. And with that, guys, that about wraps up everything I got to say about the 2011 Kawasaki Ninja 1000. Solid motorcycle. And before we get out of here, guys, do got to give a shout out to my boys over at Mountain Motorsports. If you guys are in the market for a motorcycle and you're in the North Georgia area, I can get you a discount with that link in the description. Mountain is the dealer that I got all the bikes from. That's where we do all of our first rides. They have tons of locations up here in North Georgia, and they have a huge inventory. So come in, sit on one of the motorcycles that they've got, and see which one might be right for you. It might be this one. But anyways, guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. I appreciate you guys riding around with me, and check out the channel if you like motorcycle content. We make a lot of it, and I'll see you on the next one. Later. All right, guys, in the outro crew, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much. Put OC in your comment, and guys, let me know in the comments, what is up with this thing? Why does it not turn as, why does it not feel stable in a turn? I specifically want to know, if you own a Ninja 1000, am I off with something? Is it the tires? Let me know y'all's experience, and maybe we can figure something out in the comments. You guys ride safe. Later.